Greetings, traveler, there will be no more dev diaries. As Kyle, also known as RebelzizeXtra, stated directly, the team's priority right now is finishing what's already planned, not spending resources on additional videos. Over the past few weeks, the project has seen both new obstacles and noticeable progress. I've put together a complete picture from over 10 multi-hour developer streams and condensed everything important into this single video. You'll find links to the original sources and their channels in the description below. Stay till the end and enjoy watching. Right now, they're actively reworking part of the magic system. A lot of spells are being adjusted so they actually feel useful in gameplay. There are also specific technical issues that are already being fixed. For example, invisibility and chameleon are supposed to have different visual effects, but right now, NPCs can completely disappear from view after casting. This was especially noticeable during testing of the Mages Guild questline. There was also a grass issue. The overall amount of grass was reduced, but its size was increased by around 50%. It wasn't clarified whether this affects all of Cyrodiil or only certain areas because it was shown specifically around Anvil. They're also fixing small weather bugs. The wait menu now immediately shows the current weather, but there's a serious problem with the level up menu. Since the system works like in Oblivion, after sleeping, the screen goes black, the game freezes, and you can't do anything. You can't even exit the menu. Console commands don't help. This issue has been around for some time, and it's possible they might end up abandoning this specific mechanic, but that's just my assumption. They also mentioned performance work. In some locations, FPS has dropped a bit in recent months, and they believe LOD and draw calls are a major factor, which is largely CPU bound. The biggest hits come from huge alien spaces built from many kit-bashed pieces, and one possible fix later on is merging some of those structures into larger single assets to reduce draw calls. Overall though, the build has become much more stable. Large world spaces can be explored without constant crashes. Besides the technical side, there are important system changes. Oblivion-style dialogue is coming back, meaning NPCs will once again have those random, sometimes awkward, sometimes iconic conversations that were a big part of the original.
What have you been up to?
I saw a mud crab a couple of days ago. Ugly little animals.
I avoid those things whenever I can. Horrible creatures.
So long.
Bye.
Fast travel also won't work the same way it did in Oblivion. Cities will be visible on the map, but you won't be able to fast travel to them immediately. A transportation system similar to Skyrim is planned instead. Also, the game will have around 25 Whispering Stones hidden in remote locations and dungeons. On a stream by one of the developers, Penrutet, it was shown that one of the Whispering Stones permanently grants +3 to luck. We still don't know what every stone grants, but it's clearly a reward for exploration, including non-quest locations. It feels similar to the crafting recipe system, where if you want to craft certain items, you first need to find the recipes out in the world. And speaking of the repair system, repair hammers are still planned to be part of the game, but not as on-the-go repair tools, like in Oblivion. Instead, they seem to function more like required components for crafting and repairing at forges, meaning you'll likely need them in your inventory as part of the process, rather than using them directly in the field. There's also a very interesting detail about the final Oblivion gate. It's part of the last gate you have to clear. There will be a route choice, you can go left or right, and each option leads you into different parts of the gate. This segment also has a time limit of about 15 minutes. If you enjoy this video and this kind of content, I'd really appreciate your support by subscribing. More than 90% of people who watch these videos usually pass by without subscribing, and I genuinely love to have you here for the next ones. Thank you. The Imperial City turned out to be more complicated than expected. The main difficulties are related to the nav mesh, meaning the logic of NPC movement and transitions between sections. Some deadlines have already been met, but the Imperial City is still one of the biggest technical challenges. Until the Imperial City level design is fully finished, the team can't run the final full playtest of all quests, and that's basically one of the key blockers before the final stage. And it's important to understand that Imperial City, the core quest lines, and parts of the UI are considered non-negotiable for release. These elements have to be fully finished before the project can ship, even if smaller things could technically be polished later. According to the developers, for a long time the Imperial City was largely carried by one very strong 3D artist, but when real-life circumstances came up for him, progress slowed down. At the same time, the concept art and most of the 3D models are already done. The main task now is implementing all of that properly in game. Quest testing is already actively happening, but of course still outside the Imperial City for now. They're checking NPC behavior, quest logic, and every possible progression path. If something breaks, it gets passed to the relevant department right away. The game has over 200 dungeons. Most have already gone through the first build and the second QA pass. Right now, many are already in a third pass, focused on enemy balance, flow, and overall gameplay quality. Around 30 dungeons still haven't received the second QA pass, but quest dungeons are essentially finished. Among the Iliad ruins, only a few are still missing that second pass. The level designer said Miranda is now about 99% done. What's left is a small bug fix and polish pass, and he expects to finish it off stream very soon. It's tied to Umbacano's quest, and the statue you interact with there. The Iliad ruins overall were completely reworked with more verticality, larger spaces, and puzzle gating. And a Dragonclaw style mechanic was officially confirmed, but adapted to the Iliad theme, using Iliad crystals instead of Dragonclaws as the key items. And I'll say this briefly. In one of my earlier videos, I mentioned that we'd likely see a puzzle system like this reinterpreted for Iliad ruins, so it's genuinely satisfying to see that prediction turn out to be correct. I'll leave that video linked as well. Deadlands is currently being finalized at the Navmesh level, cell by cell. Kyle said directly that he no longer wants to give estimates the team might not be able to meet. The game will release when it's ready. At the same time, it looks like release is still planned for this year, and the team sounds optimistic, but there are no hard dates. The closer they get to the finish line, the more small things appear that still need fixing and polishing. KraftyTom added that this is only his personal feeling, but when they finally announce an exact release date, it probably won't be 6 months ahead. It will likely be fairly close to the actual release. On stream, someone also asked about early access for content creators. Kyle said he plans to give a few people early access so they can prepare videos, but as he put it, time will tell. And personally, I'll say this, early access would be an incredible opportunity, so I'll be honest, I would really love to get that chance. I already have ideas I want to bring to life around Skyblivion and finally show you. That's it for today. Thank you for watching. Support the channel with a like, a subscription, and your thoughts in the comments. And if you'd like to support me even more, you can become a channel sponsor. It's a powerful way to help me make more content for you. See you in the next videos.